Due to new 2020 YouTube policies regarding for children content, I will only be able to post a few sample drawn-in videos here on YouTube. For all my videos, 2 new videos a week and more, go to davidbowmanart.com. Hey friend, and welcome to Drawn In. Question for you. How do you feel about doing something that's hard? Well, doing hard things is the entire theme of Lehi's family in the wilderness. So, they've been gone from Jerusalem maybe less than a week. They're camped by a river, and then one morning, Lehi wakes up, and he has another commandment from the Lord that's going to be very hard. Let's get
Drawn In!
My sons, I dreamed a dream last night, wherein the Lord has commanded me to have you return to Jerusalem and obtain the plates of brass. They have a record of the Jews and a genealogy of our forefathers. And by the way, you must get them from Laban. All right, you guys, time out. Let's talk about this. Laban is one of the most powerful men in all of Jerusalem. He commands hundreds of men. He has soldiers. He has money. He has everything that he needs to keep the brothers from getting the plates. This is mission impossible. This is one really hard thing to do. Put yourself in the brothers' shoes. How would you feel if you were asked to do something that seemed impossible? Laman and Lemuel, how do you feel about this commandment? Oh, Dad, oh, that's hard. Are you serious? We don't like hard things. Why do we have to go back and get that? Why couldn't you remember that in the first place? And Lemuel, of course, yeah, whatever he says, that's hard. Well, we all know how Laman and Lemuel respond. And what about you, Nephi? Here we have one of the favoriteest scriptures in all the Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi 3:7. I will go, I will do the things the Lord commands. I know the Lord provides a way he wants me to obey. You know the song. Wow, what faith Nephi has to do hard things in the Lord. By the way, where did Nephi get such strength, such faith? Do you remember what he was doing right before Lehi asked him to get the plates? He'd been crying unto the Lord for a soft heart. When we prepare ourselves spiritually, we are ready to do hard things. The brothers arrive outside Laban's house. They decide to draw straws to see who will go in and ask for the brass plates. Laman is the chosen one. So here's Laman, and his plan is to ask really nicely, maybe beg a little for the plates. And how does that go? Well, Laban is furious, chases Laman out, and threatens to kill him. This is going to take a little more work than that, guys. Well, we tried. Let's go back. But Nephi is not going to give up that easy. As the Lord liveth, says Nephi, which basically means he's promising, we will not go back to our father until we obtain these plates. So Nephi comes up with another idea. They gather all their treasure, their inheritance, things that they left behind at their house in Jerusalem, and get it all gathered together and bring it to Laban. They know Laban is a greedy man. Maybe they can trade all of their riches and get the plates of brass in return. How does it go? This time, Laban sees all the riches, wants all the riches, takes all the riches, chases the brothers out, and they don't get the plates of brass. So Laban basically steals all their riches. Well, now Laman and Lemuel are furious. They've tried twice, and they've lost their inheritance and their riches. So when they get far enough away from Laban's guards, they find sticks, and they start beating up Nephi and Sam. They're so mad. Now, while that's happening, suddenly an angel of the Lord appears and says to them something that some of you parents of rambunctious boys might say. Why do you smite your younger brother with a rod? Know ye not that the Lord hath chosen him to be a ruler over you, and this because of your iniquities? Behold, ye shall go up to Jerusalem again, and the Lord will deliver Laban into your hands. Now, that should give you some confidence to do something hard, yet Laman and Lemuel keep complaining. When you're stuck in whining mode, it's hard to get out of it. Nephi, however, is not going to give up. Let us be strong like unto Moses, he tells his brothers. See, Nephi sees past scripture heroes as actual examples that he can follow. Well, the brothers decide, all right, we'll try one more time. And the four of them go back to Jerusalem. Just outside the walls, Nephi says, you guys stay here. I'm going to go by myself. And he heads in towards Laban's house, which leads us to today's power verse. 1 Nephi chapter 4, verse 6. And I was led by the Spirit, not knowing beforehand the things which I should do. Nevertheless, I went forth. What faith, Nephi. Aye, wait a minute. Stop the story. Oh, Mr. Scottish Hand, what's wrong? You mean to tell me this wee laddie, Nephi, he's going without a plan? Well, he's finally just going to follow the Spirit. Well, what good does that do? The Spirit knows everything, Mr. Scottish Hand. It can guide you in ways that you wouldn't know otherwise. It's the best guide we can possibly have. All right. Well, good luck, Mr. Nephi. I mean, good spirit. You're gonna need it. So Nephi sneaks into Jerusalem and starts heading towards Laban's house. Now it's the middle of the night. There's nobody around. And in Nephi's words, he says, As I came near unto the house of Laban, I beheld a man, and he had fallen to the earth before me, for he was drunken with wine. And when I came to him, I found that it was Laban. Now wait a minute, kids. What is the odds of finding Laban drunk in the middle of the street? Surely this has to be the Spirit leading Nephi, right? Well, Nephi notices Laban's sword. He pulls it out, and he sees that it's of pure gold, and the workmanship is exceedingly fine, and the blade was the most precious steel. Guys kind of like swords. But then the Spirit asks, or tells Nephi to do something rather troubling. Nephi says, I was constrained by the Spirit that I should kill Laban. But I said in my heart, never at any time have I shed the blood of man. And I shrunk, and I would that I might not slay him. Aye, you're right. Nephi really was led by the Spirit. But now the Spirit says to kill Laban? I don't get it. Why does he have to kill him? I thought we weren't supposed to kill. It is a hard thing to understand, even for grown-ups, and especially in our day and time. Just know that back then, the people lived a different law called the Law of Moses. The Law of Moses said that if someone tries to do something to you, then you could do the same thing to them. And Laban did try to kill Nephi and his brothers. There are more reasons why Nephi needed to slay Laban. Have your parents help you find them in 1 Nephi 4, verse 11 through 17. And parents, check out Exodus 21:13. It's really cool. It gives the phrase, I have delivered him into your hands, a whole new meaning. Okay, let's get back to the story. So what did Nephi do next? After he slew Laban, he put on Laban's clothes and headed to the treasury where he knew the plates of brass would be kept. A servant named Zoram was there. In the voice of Laban, Nephi commanded him to get the plates, and then they all went out to the city gates. There they saw the brothers saw them and were scared, but Nephi told them not to be scared, and he convinced Zoram to go with them on their journey. And at last they traveled back to the tent of their father, and Nephi was able to give the plates over to Lehi. What joy! Lehi and Sarai were so happy to see their sons safe and that they had accomplished the task the Lord had given them. Okay, friends, what principle of power did you learn from Nephi's example today? How about you can do hard things? Now, how can we do hard things? Let's look at 4 things Nephi did.
Principle of power.
1. I can do hard things when I have confidence that God will help me. Nephi never doubted for 1 second that the Lord would not help him get the brass plates from Laban. Number 2. I can do hard things when I'm creative with solutions. Come up with your own ideas. Some might work, some might not, but that's part of the growing process. Number 3. I can do hard things when I have bounce-back-attitude. What in the world is a bounce-back-attitude? Well, let me show you. Each time I bounce this ball, it just bounces right back up. It doesn't have to think about it. It's automatic. The ball doesn't say, "Oh, it's too hard. Oh, I don't want to bounce back up. I can't do this." Nope. Just keeps bouncing. People with bounce-back-attitude, they don't let things get them down. If something goes wrong or they fail or make a mistake, they just bounce right back up. Oh, sorry, King Benjamin. So just like that ball, every time something gets you down, you bounce right back up and you keep going. You don't give up, all because your first few times didn't work. Number 4, I can do hard things when I follow the Spirit. The Spirit showed Nephi all the things he needed to do to accomplish the task.
That was then. Now it's my turn.
Let's take a look at this brother and sister and see how they apply these 4 principles of doing hard things. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, one of the hardest things for me to do was to clean a room that turned into a disaster. It was overwhelming. I thought I could never do it. Well, if you got confidence to do hard things like Nephi, it all starts with a confident attitude. You have to say to yourself, let's do this. I can do this. And when you talk to yourself that way, you'll be amazed what you can do. What's principle number 2? Be creative with your solutions. Hopefully, when you have something hard to do, Mom and Dad don't just tell you what to do and then you do it. That's easy. They want to see you grow, and so does your Heavenly Father. So come up with your own ideas. What do you think would work? Sometimes brothers and sisters, they have a hard time getting along. They have to live together, and it can be tough. This sister, she decided she was going to make a chart where she could keep track of how she treated her brother throughout the week. That was a great reminder to her, and that was a very creative solution. Principle number 3, have bounce-back-attitude, or resilience. You're never going to succeed on the first time every time you try something. Sometimes you're going to fail, and that's okay. That is part of the learning process. You remember when you were a baby? Did you get up and walk perfectly the first time you tried? Of course not. You fell down, and you fell down again and again and again many times. But did you ever give up and say, "Oh man, this walking is too hard. I'm not doing this"? No. Every time you cheerfully got back up until you were able to walk. Now that's bounce-back-attitude. And you can keep doing that now, even though you're not a baby. And principle number 4, follow the Spirit. Remember, the Spirit are those feelings and ideas you get that nudge you to do something good, to make a right choice. Yeah, they can be hard sometimes, Like this little girl, she feels like she needs to say she's sorry to her brother. And that's hard to do. But every time you follow the Spirit, you can know that you are making the best choice. Well, friend, thanks for joining me today. And good luck doing those hard things. I hope you have lots of them. It's actually doing the hard things that makes us the most happy in life. Go figure. All right, till next time, keep getting drawn into your scriptures. Bye-bye. Getting the brass plates was something that was hard to do. Nephi showed his faith and acted with bounce-back attitude. Hard things are not bad things doing, hard things helps us grow. Then our faith in the Lord plainly shows. Hey, thanks for watching this sample episode of Drawn In. There is so much more to see with the series, more videos, more PDF downloads, etc. Go to davidbowmanart.com for more information, and we'll see you there. Bye.